Shares of satellite communications company Globalstar surging more than 20% today after naming Paul Jacobs as its new CEO. Its market cap is above $2 billion, has some major customers. Why are you becoming CEO of this company?
At Qualcomm, we were building all the different generations of wireless technology. We came up with a new idea that gives you 5 to 10x improvement in what you can get through a chunk of spectrum. We can take this chunk of spectrum and we can use it for private networks. So we have customers that are interested in things like warehouse automation or training, or various applications where there's something that an enterprise wants to do with that, and we can provide a mission-critical capability for them, meaning that they can't have their communications go down.
If using XCOM technology, Globalstar is able to get more out of the infrastructure it already has, that's potentially big. So how soon might that be able to happen?
Well, we're actually in with customers right now. Now people have been very focused on the satellite side because of the relationships that they have and the wholesale partner that they're working with.
What changes, if anything, with the capital position and the debt under your leadership?
What they were able to do with the wholesale partner is actually get that constellation paid for. So those old satellites were up there. In fact, they were using some of the old equipment from the early Qualcomm days. And now they've been able to upgrade, and we're looking forward to continuing to provide better and better service as time goes on.
Apple, which is it was a major moment, a major milestone for Globalstar to be working with Apple, because this has been the market everybody's talked about, but hadn't really been fully realized or tapped into, this direct satellite to mobile connection. How big does, I guess how far does that partnership with that wholesale partner go? And even beyond that, how big is this market potentially?
I think, the opportunity with Globalstar's partners, we're here because we've done good partnerships in the past, and we think there's opportunity to do good partnerships in the future. And this is a group of people that have built great technology before, and we want to keep doing that.
Speaking of partners, Elon Musk would like to be able to do some of what Globalstar is doing over at SpaceX. And I know SpaceX has been a partner in one sense, helping you get satellites in the air, but they're also trying to get into your spectrum position. Any possibilities of working better with him and with SpaceX?
Certainly from launch capacity standpoint, that's always interesting. And but I think the fact that Globalstar has its spectrum, the licensed spectrum, is important, and it's global. Whereas if you're trying to cobble together spectrum that's not global and you have to go country by country, especially for these things like IoT, it's very hard if you have to do it every single country. If you can come in, you say you have spectrum everywhere, you have connectivity everywhere, that's just a huge advantage. So I think that's a big thing that Globalstar has going for it.
North Shore tech company prepares to launch new technology into space with Elon Musk and SpaceX in hopes of saving lives.
Economic development leaders say the new $64 million contract shows what this region is capable of. Rob Masson has the story.
When Elon Musk's SpaceX takes flight next year, it will likely have technology developed at Globalstar's Covington headquarters on board. Globalstar, which employs about 200 people, utilized local university tie-ins and state hiring incentives to become a world leader in satellite technology. It just landed a $64 million contract with Apple to launch a new emergency messaging capability into space. It will allow iPhone 14 users to send emergency text messages to first responders, even in areas without cellular service. The future of Globalstar looks good. The $2.4 billion company recently landed former Qualcomm chairman Paul Jacobs as its new CEO, and its Apple contract will last at least 2 more years.
The fact that we're now tied up effectively with Apple and with Qualcomm says that the New Orleans region is now being recognized as an attractive next market for technology.
And GNO Inc. says the same university tie-ins and job incentives offered by the state are available to other companies to come in and try and replicate Globalstar's success.
Dan, you were on vacation last week. I hope you had a great time, but you actually had some tech issues yourself. What happened?
Yeah, I was away in Ireland and Scotland, as you can see from this incredible tan that I have right now. And there was a third-party outage with a provider that actually provides roaming services for Verizon, AT&T, and T-Mobile users outside of the U.S. And so while I was traveling, internet just went down for us entirely. We couldn't connect to anything when we were out and about. And cities that we really don't know.
And so what are some of the tips that you have for people who may not have full internet access, whether for traveling or even if you're dealing with an outage as you did?
A few other things you can do as well. You can download Google Maps for offline use if you're in a city you don't know. That was really helpful. You can also do things like use Apple's satellite messages or messages over satellite. That's going to be coming in the fall. Right now, they have emergency SOS. So if you are truly stranded somewhere and you have no network connectivity, that's something that you would probably use. It connects you to emergency services. It's not something to be like, oh no, I can't find where the restaurant is that I'm looking for. That could be something that you would use Apple's upcoming messages over satellite service would be used for.
But we begin with that massive Microsoft technology outage. Cybersecurity firm CrowdStrike says it identified a critical problem in its software and is working to fix the issue. Around the world, computer users were greeted with an error screen that some people have referred to as the Windows blue screen of death. The outage affected government entities and news organizations, as well as almost every industry across the globe, including banks, airports, healthcare providers, and retailers. What exactly caused this massive outage?
Well, really, this is a failure for them to do adequate quality assurance. What they did is they took an update that they had not tested, they had not correctly vetted, and they just sent it out to millions and millions of users, causing massive outages.
And this is a cybersecurity firm that's entire purpose is to make sure that there aren't these types of critical failures. I just have to ask if it's normal to roll out an update like this everywhere at once. Obviously, it should have been tested, but is that kind of a miscalculation on their part?
Yes, I mean, there's multiple ways in which they were negligent, and one of them is you almost always roll something out a small piece at a time. Either that or you've done testing behind the scenes, and it appears that neither of those was done, that something just went right out to everybody.
And this outage obviously highlights just how digitally interconnected we all are. So what's to stop something like this, whether it is negligent or malicious, from happening again?
Well, really, until people put the right sort of security practices in place, these issues will continue to happen. A lot of the open source community has pretty robust ways of dealing with this. There's things like software attestations, better protections around software signing and rollback protection. All of these types of things are exactly the types of things that they should have been doing. And obviously we're not because of this massive outage. So it's one of these things where CrowdStrike made a big mistake. But Microsoft also, by not having better controls and mechanisms in place, is also in some ways equally to blame for this.